Good afternoon. The meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners is called to order.
Oh, come on in.
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners was provided in the following manner. Published in the Press of Atlantic City and mailed to the Hamilton Gazette, and has been posted on the bulletin boards in the county office building in Atlantic City, the Stillwater Building in Northfield, and the county clerk's office in Mays Landing. An opening prayer.
Please bow your heads. Lead us, O God, that we may be leaders of our community and continue to guide us in the decisions we make for the service of others. Amen.
Amen.
At this moment, I would ask for a moment of silence for Mr. Gus Harmon and Mr. Charles Cannon. Please. Thank you. Please face the flag. Attention, salute.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Bertino,
Here.
Burns,
Here.
Corsi,
Present.
Gatto,
Here.
Kern,
Here.
Parker,
Present.
Risley,
Here.
Ruffio,
Here.
Days.
Here. Commissioners have had an opportunity to review the minutes from December 17th, 2025. I'll now entertain a motion to adopt the December 17th, 2025 minutes as presented.
So moved.
Moved. Second.
Call the roll, please.
Bertino,
Here.
Burns,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio,
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Commissioners have had an opportunity to review the minutes from January 7th, 2025. I will entertain a motion to adopt the January 7th, 2025 minutes
So
as
moved.
presented.
Second.
Sorry, call the roll, please.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Corsi, Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio,
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Anyone attending in person who would like to speak regarding an agenda item or at public comment, please come to the podium, speak into the microphone, state your name and the town where you reside. You'll be provided up to 3 minutes to speak. If you are attending virtually and would like to speak, please raise your hand during the agenda item or at public comment at the end. I will call upon your name and the request to unmute will be sent. Please state your name and the town you reside. You'll be provided up to 3 minutes to speak. We now have a presentation. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Spirit Award, presented by Atlantic County Executive Dennis Levinson.
Thank you. Stay safe. I know no problem getting outside. This is awarded every year in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King. And needn't go into his history. We all know it and respect it. This year, we've chosen former freeholder Charles Garrett and his wife Augusta. The award commemorates Dr. King's birthday and recognizes outstanding residents who exemplify his principles through involvement in the community and their efforts to improve the lives of their fellow citizens. Charlie and Augusta have each contributed in their own right. Charlie is a lifelong resident of Atlantic City and a United States Army veteran. It was always reminded me while he was sloshing through the rice fields of Vietnam, I was in college. There was an episode of Taxi. And forget his name, Wiskowski, or what was his, the nut on the show? Wiskowski. And he turned to Tony Danza. And Tony Danza said, you know, while you were in college, running around with women, smoking dope, getting high, and carrying on, I was over in Vietnam fighting for our freedom. What have you got to say? Wiskowski looked at him and said, thank you. And thank you. Charlie's a lifelong resident of Atlantic City and United States Army veteran. 2007, he began his first of 2 terms as a county freeholder. He serves as Secretary of the Atlantic County Veterans Museum Foundation, founding member of the African American Heritage Museum of Southern New Jersey, board member of Mainland Chapter of NAACP and Venice Park Civic Association, among other service organizations. And like myself and Corsi, Charlie married up. Augusta Garrett was born in Louisiana. By the way, it is 20 degrees in New Orleans with snow. Last year, she was honored with the Fannie Lou Hamer Award as an inspirational figure for civil rights. Serves as president of the Venice Park Civic Association. She's secretary and treasurer for the Atlantic City Public Library and participates in many community services. She has many activities as a member of Zeta Phi Beta sorority. So with that, come on up here. What you may not know, I see Paul D'Amato in the back. Paul D'Amato claims success for everything you did in high school. Really? Really. And by the way, turn around and look at Andrew Parker. I said to Andrew Parker, you know, Charlie Garrett, he set records like you wouldn't believe. Probably more or as many as you did. You know what he said? It's a lot bigger than me, though. Look what I did.
Big surprise coming small package.
Nobody hit the line like Charlie Garrett. And that was as a sophomore. I was a senior. Congratulations, you two.
Thank you so much.
Deserve it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this award is not to say a whole lot, but it's really humbling. Martin Luther King was one of my heroes. Okay, you know, ironically, he got killed when I was in Vietnam, and it was it's something I've carried with me, you know, all my life. I've tried to mimic, you know, who he was in the way I treat people and the way I conduct myself. I haven't been successful, obviously, but I can say that the long and short of it is he had a quote, we cannot all do great things, but we can do small things that have a great impact. And that's something that I think, you know, if you turn and look to each other in this room, we all can do small things. You know, we don't have to do great things. And this award, I've always thought that Dennis Levinson, was being older than me and everything, he's always conducted himself with wisdom. He's a wise politician. He's a wise man. And I'll finish by saying this. It was a quote from Nelson Mandela. When wise men remain silent, fools multiply. I'll say it again. When wise men remain silent, fools multiply. Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate it.
Thank you for all you do.
Mr. and Mrs. Garrett, thank you so much for everything that you have done and continue to do for our community. Definitely an honor well deserved. So thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations.
Thank you, sir. It's great to see you again.
I didn't realize you. It feels a little strange sitting on this side.
It feels strange sitting here.
And you know, congratulations.
It means a lot coming from you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
stay for the whole meeting.
We,
Wise man.
Wise.
There's
There's
some of that wisdom.
there's that wisdom.
We're gonna break-
Congratulations.
Some input on the budget.
Thank you, everybody for coming.
That's that wisdom.
If I had- if I had- Good seeing all you guys.
Good to see you.
Hey, stay well.
Always.
I was happy that you read your speech last night.
Right, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. You
He still reads them, say, he still reads them.
All right, at this time, we'll have the Atlanta County 2025 budget message by Atlanta County Executive Dennis Levinson.
Good afternoon, commissioners and guests. And a warm welcome to our newest commissioner at large, Michael Ruffey, and the board's new legislative counsel, Ken Warren. I don't know Ken very well, but I know Michael's family. His father and I were pals in high school. His grandparents and my parents, Bill and B, went with Bill and our tennis every other Friday night to Orsatti's. They were dear friends. And Michael's grandfather was the mayor of Atlantic City. And the least of his relatives, Sonny McCullough, is his first cousin. Ken, they treating you all right? Good, good.
It's early.
Yes. I join you today to present the 2025 executive budget message. This message will provide a summary of the state of Atlanta County and the current projections for our 2025 county budget. The actual budget will not be introduced until after the governor's annual budget message. By law, the governor must deliver his budget message to the state legislature on or before the fourth Tuesday in February. Now, I'm not going to waste your time reading about the windmills because hopefully they are yesterday's news. And I was kind of taken aback when our congressman switched parties from Democrat to Republican and said that he gives Donald Trump his undying support. Well, it looks like it's mutual. Donald Trump is obviously listening very intently to our congressman. Brought the President of the United States, or President-elect, to Wildwood, New Jersey, when he started talking against the windmills. From listening to the speech yesterday, seems that they're a thing of the past. We'll see what happens. I suggest, put them on land. Our windmills here in Atlanta County are the first onshore wind farm in the country. And we've saved how much, Matt, so far? $7.4 million. Wind does work. It's going to be on land. We're also awaiting yet another decision in our casino pilot lawsuit that challenged the state's 2023 casino pilot amendment. The amendment negated the 2018 court-ordered consent agreement that Governor Murphy and I agreed to. With that agreement came $30 million of money. It wasn't a gift, it was owed to us. And it cost the taxpayers $300,000 to get that $30 million. well worth it. I'm sure you'll agree. We're suing them again because agreements should be binding, especially when the governor of the state of New Jersey makes that agreement and shakes hands and agrees that it will occur. 3 Superior Court judges ruled in our favor that the consent agreement was binding. Each time a decision was made, the state appealed. Now, if you and I lose a court case, if we have the money, we'll appeal. And then, of course, we don't have any more money because it costs a fortune to go to court and, of course, to appeal. State's using your money for each one of these appeals, ladies and gentlemen. Your money. We won each and every appeal. And then they decided to be cute and send it to a 3-judge tribunal who decided they were going to punt, send it back down to a lower court. That's where they are. That's where we are. Short $14 million in count. Last time, we didn't collect the fees that it cost us in court. We're approaching $1 million now. And hopefully things go the way they should be. And honestly, we will recoup that also this time. Now, it is an unfortunate circumstance where we are. Mind you, no one from this, now follow this. I skipped over this. The state appealed. Last October, the state appellate division vacated the prior decisions, not because it disagreed with the rulings, but rather because it questioned the process that relied on certified legal affidavits. Now that may sound reasonable, except they wouldn't accept sworn testimony. Mind you, no one from the state ever raised a concern in any prior proceeding, not just ours, any proceeding. Furthermore, 99% of all cases accept the certified legal affidavits. If you feel like you're getting hosed, taxpayers, you are. They seem to find every excuse they possibly can not to give us the money that was agreed upon and accepted by all. So if all the taxpayers in New Jersey benefit from the casinos, which everyone agreed they do, why are the taxpayers of Atlantic County the only ones to bear the burden of the pilot legislation? We are the second poorest county in the state, behind only Cumberland. Used to be Atlantic, Salem, and then Cumberland on the bottom. Now we're right up from Cumberland. Atlantic County taxpayers are owed approximately $14.1 million, and that is what we expect to receive. The original pilot will sunset in 2026, but don't be fooled in thinking that this will all end. They are in the process right now of coming up with a new pilot. We have 4 senators and 8 assembly people that represent this county. Not like the old days, 1 senator per county. Now they have cut it out as far as population is concerned. We need people to fight for us in this county for the money that we deserve. I've asked, I've sent letters, nothing but crickets. Not even a response. Maybe we'll try. This is our money. Now, the casinos got a pilot, and I don't want to sound condescending, but a pilot is payment in lieu of taxes, which means they're not paying their fair share. Now, why aren't they? Because they cried the blues. Because of COVID, they lost money. Well, who didn't? Who in business didn't lose money? Who didn't close down? It was a tragic situation, but only the casinos are benefiting. I spoke to a dear friend of mine who is the president of one of the casinos. And he said, then, if we have to pay more taxes, we're not going to survive. I don't want that to happen. I agreed to compromise. I have asked the state of New Jersey on many occasions. The 3 appellate court judges made the same comment. Can't you sit down with Atlantic County? The only thing they asked, and see if you can come to a conclusion. Holy cow, the Hamas and the Jews are sitting down. We can't sit down, the governor and the county executive, not one single word. Ignored the courts and did nothing but appeal. So I don't know what we're all going to do about it. I see our senator back there. Maybe you can come up with some type of legislation in behalf of the county of Atlantic and the taxpayers. Right now, there doesn't seem to be any movement. Commissioners have most certainly done their part in this. We're in it alone, and that's unfortunate. Taxpayers would stand to benefit from something I've been requesting for decades: countywide tax assessment. Before I start, tell you why. No one has worked harder to get this done than John Risley. We sat down, we met with everybody, we did everything we possibly could do. But it was like herding cats. Didn't occur. I would like to revisit this idea for Atlantic County in 2025 with the full cooperation and support of the Board of Commissioners. As hard as we work to reduce county taxes, our efforts and the cost saving to taxpayers is often offset by artificial increases in municipal property values due to the lack of any regimented revaluation or reassessment process. Last year, we reduced the county taxes by 5 cents per hundred. But many taxpayers failed to realize that savings because their tax bill reflected an increase based on an inflated property value on their county tax bill. I go on the radio, the commissioners go on the radio, and we're not called liars, but we're questioned. You said the property taxes went down 5 cents in the county. Mine went up. Not the truth. It is the truth. And here's why. I'm using Margate as an example because our newest commissioner is from Margate. And I think it was fitting, especially in the position Margate is in its present time. Margate, for example, is only slightly above 50% assessed value. That means a $1 million municipally assessed home is taxed like it's a $2 million property on the county tax roll. Now follow that. You got an assessment of $1 million, but you're paying as if your property is worth $2 million. The further below 100%, the higher the value of the property. A $1 million property is 50% of $2 million. That's why they're in the circumstances they're in. I'm sure I'm talking to everybody in the room. Very few towns are as close to 100% like they should be. So you're paying more on your taxes than you should be. It is the obligation and it is the law that you should be as close to 100% of your value. Now, Risley and I went through this continually from town to town, and some listened, some didn't. And if we did have 100% assessment, we would all be paying our fair share instead of some paying more and some paying less. Terry Pendergrass is here right now. And she is, no one knows more about it in this county than Terry. And commissioners, if you want to, I won't take your time up today, bring Terry in and have her explain exactly what the value of a revaluation would be with the assessment at close to 100%. In other words, it's done each time. You take a little town like Corbin City, if they sell a house for, what's pretty expensive there, maybe 6, 7, 800,000, everybody's taxes go up. The value goes up. You're living next door to somebody. You just built your house. It's a brand new house. You have actual value. The guy next to you has been living there for 40 years, paying with an old assessment. You're paying more than him. He's not meeting his fair share. And that can be solved with people of goodwill that will stand up and make things occur. As county executive, all I can do is suggest. And the municipalities, it's up to them to decide whether they want to do the right thing or stay exactly where they are. Now, when the state tells them you got to do this, they all promise we're going to do it. And of course, it goes away. There's 565 counties in this state. So obviously, you can't continue to press just one. So the county has no say in these state and municipal formulas. It is imperative that all towns be at or close to 100%, so taxes are based on true property values. Countywide tax assessment could ensure consistent property tax administration and valuation. A few years ago, the town of Hamilton raised taxes, but they blamed it on the county and they gave my personal phone number to call me. And all I could do is explain to them where it is. And, you know, we're in the weeds when you start explaining it. It's very kind of them too. Jimmy, when you see him, make sure you thank him for that. I appreciate it.
Most of it.
We have a similar situation with the Central Municipal Court of Atlantic County. 10 towns are currently members, leaving 13 that are not. With the 2025 proposed court budget, these 10 member towns will enjoy a savings of $1.2 million or 45% compared to what they were paying before they joined the consolidated municipal court. You're paying too much money. Now, there are towns that are very satisfied with it. We get a lot of complaints from the city of Ventnor that, well, this is not right, this is not right. The city of Ventnor was paying $400,000 in court costs before they joined our court. They're now paying $200,000. Pretty substantial savings of 50% to their taxpayers. I want them to stay in, and I want others to come in also. It's difficult to understand how non-member towns can argue against joining the Central Municipal Court if they are truly interested in reducing costs and saving money to their residents. I'm going to give you their excuse. New Jersey is a home rule state. We want to put our own judge in, our own prosecutors in, our own administrative staff in. We don't want to join. And the taxpayers don't necessarily complain because they don't know. Now, Margate's not in. 3/4 of the town is empty. They can't even vote there. They're out of town or they're on vacation, whatever it may be, and they pay the taxes that come in. They may complain and get a small reduction if they can, but it is not fair. It's not fair that some pay more than they should have. But unless this gets done, it seems to me only the elected officials love their judge and love their prosecutor. The guy on the street doesn't even know who it is. Home rule is archaic, something left over from the stagecoach era. We welcome conversation with any town that is interested. Atlantic County is once again leading the way with the first court of its kind that has also been successful in reducing recidivism among its defendants. I'm going to ask you a question in your mind's eye. In the court system that we have, how many people have fallen back? Recidivism. Can you answer that, Jerry?
Yes, I can. It's 0.
0. 100% success. See if the towns that aren't in can say that. The individuals who come before our judges are referred to social service supports to address issues such as domestic violence, substance abuse, mental illness. In this way, there are secondary savings for our taxpayers. Individuals can be treated for problems before they escalate and reach the Superior Court. These interventions are saving lives and saving costs. I'm sure we all watch the news, not as intently as others, but when we do, we most certainly turn it on when there's a horrendous killing in a school or a problem somewhere, and you hear the parents saying, we have been begging the system to help us. We knew he was a mental case. We knew there was problems. We couldn't get any help. Now you're getting help. It's one-stop shopping. When these people come in, we have a whole social group in our municipal court that will treat them, save their lives, save other people's lives. It is imperative. Mark Sanson is here now, and he was the one that really put together the social end of this. I decided that we'll have a municipal court to save money. He came to me and said, we can also save lives and improve the quality of life throughout all of Atlanta County. That's what we have now. It is important. I'm pleased to report our proposal to transition our Meadowview Nursing Home facility to a veterans home that has been well received. By the way, we have a new commissioner who will be taking over the Veterans Bureau that we have here in Atlanta County. That's June Burns. And I know she is very much concerned working towards turning Meadowview into a veterans hospital. Like other long-term care facilities, it is difficult to attract and maintain staff. Atlanta County is one of only 3 remaining county-run nursing homes in the state. When I became county executive, there was 21. We're down to 3, and we're bleeding money. I spoke to each and every one of our employees, nursing staff, right down to the people that change adult diapers, and let them know. Didn't blindside them. They didn't read about it in the paper. I told each and every one, I will not sell this facility unless the buyer, whether it's the VA or private, guarantee 2 years of employment for you and 2 years of medical for you and your family. Won't be sold. I made that decision and I will stand by it. Nobody got blindsided. No press conference was called to blindside these individuals that work as desperately hard as they do. Unlike something that happened in this county with our ACUA and the hardworking people. Think about this as you were warm today. They're hanging on the back of a trash truck at 7 o'clock in the morning when it was 12 degrees. And I guess it's time for a mea culpa from me. I want to make this clear. The paper read clearly when the senator made a speech about privatizing. County formed it, county will dissolve it. Headline, ACUA landfill owner has GOP calling for privatization. This started out with me talking to Andrew Parker, who told me off in no uncertain terms. In fact, it was on speaker. And one of my staff members said, I haven't heard language like that since I threw my first husband out. But it's true. He was mad. I didn't know. Every freeholder, every commissioner that came there that day did not know what the speech was about. They were told, we are going to the ACUA to support Maureen Kern, who is getting blasted in this election. That's why they thought they were there. Every one of them told me they didn't know, with the exception of June Burns, by the way. June Burns called the president of the ACUA directly and apologized. I didn't know that was the speech. These individuals that pick up trash are as valuable to this society as your EMTs, as anybody. Stop and think for a moment if it's not picked up. Stop and think for a moment what happened in New York with the garbage strike, with the rats all over the city. Stop and think of that, if you're old enough, that garbage scow that went all around the world trying to find a place to dump it. These are people that pick up trash. They're not trash. They deserve our thanks, our appreciation, and I want to tell you, our love for what they do. Think of yourself. Think of yourself this morning having to get up and put on your whatever you put on and hang at the back of that trash truck. Then think in the middle of July or August when it's 110 degrees and you're out there with garbage. People complain about the smell? Sure they did. But they smell every day. Whether you close the dump, privatize, or do whatever you want to do, it's still going to smell. It's a dump. And if you think people care and then complain afterward, EHT has okayed 660 homes on Westbelt Road, which are closer to the dump and the airport than the Bel Air apartments that are complaining. Now, if it is so bad, why in the world would you build 660 homes? You have an answer for that, Marvin? No? By the way, drive down Westcoast. It's one way. You want to turn around, you got to make a U-turn. School buses, everything else going in there. So don't complain about the stink when you're going to add to it for people that are going to be complaining about a stink. My goodness, what a revelation in Atlantic County. Dump smell. Oh, gee. Bathroom smell. That's why we have a can of deodorizer in there. Lots of things smell. Right now, what smells is the treatment of these individuals, with no regard how to read in the paper prior to Thanksgiving and Christmas. Now, maybe incorrect. GOP calling for privatization. Every single commissioner here. The last person I talked to was Rich Days. And he had no idea. We thought we were going there to help Maureen. We did not know what the senator was going to say. He didn't speak for us. And I know the comments I made on the radio, commissioners, how furious I was with you. I assumed that if you were standing behind somebody giving a speech, you agreed with it. My assumption was wrong. And I should have given you more credit. I know each one of you, and I know how decent you are. That was my fault, and you have my sincere apology. Before I shoot my mouth off again, I'll make sure I speak to you. And also of interest is our discussion with the Diocese of Camden. We are continuing looking to construct a senior housing complex right next to Meadowview Nursing Home. An ideal place. We have our veteran services there, Office of Aging, we have disabled there, we have public health there. It would be great. And speaking to the bishop, he wants to come here, but we had a snafu. That land that we have is a burial ground from the old days in Atlantic City for indigents. They were all moved over there and planted. And there is a lady in Northfield, and by the way, a sincere person. So she gets a lot of flack because how dare you put a building above these individuals? They have worth. There are people that think people have worth that are indigent and dead. Something to think about. And we did everything we could with the diocese. We put sonar in there to see if we found any bodies and to make sure we did not desecrate their remains. Set us back, cost us more money, but we now feel secure that that land right over here is now where we're going to be building the this hospital, really, which is needed, that everything would be all right. And I am not, I know she ran for office this time and nobody seemed to care. We did. We made sure that respect was afforded to these people who had a tough enough life dying indigent. We are also progressing with the construction of the second building as the National Aerospace Research and Technology Park. The building will include space for Aerospace Innovation Center, one of the 5 state strategic innovation centers provide research space and connectivity to the FAA's advanced aerospace data and system labs. $14.3 million construction project. Now, during the past year, the NARTP welcomed 3 new tenants to the building. That'd be Building 1. Applied Research Associates, Inc. That's a globally recognized corporation for advanced research and technology. We also have Quazon, Inc. That's a Virginia-based information technology firm. Virginia has their own aerospace. They're coming here. And also Signature Science. Signature Science works with really DNA technology that we can use within the field itself. And they feel that there's a place for them here in aviation. And the new Federal Aviation Administration. Now we have there the National Institute of Aerospace, Wolpert, and the Federal Aviation Administration, and also NASA and General Dynamics. Here in Atlantic County, good, solid jobs for everybody. For 100 and so years, people talked about we have to diversify our economy. We did it. The commissioners and I put this together without asking for help, because we did ask for help and didn't get any. We did it ourselves. We put our political careers on the line. Who's going to come to Atlantic County were the comments that were made. We were questioned. Who are your tenants? Well, we don't have any yet. Who are your prospective tenants? Funny you ask that. We don't have any of them either. It was a build it and they will come. And we put ourselves, our political futures, which we love what we're doing, on the line. Also 20 million of your money. But it worked out and worked out extraordinarily well. We're now building a second building. That's how well it's doing right now. We continue to work with the Industrial Realty Company, LLC, one of the largest industrial real estate developers in the country, to promote the development of 400 acres of Atlantic City International Airport for use for air cargo. Imagine what that's going to mean to us, along with whatever's going on over there at the racetrack with Amazon. We got a lot happening right now. And it would be a cargo hub and aircraft maintenance and repair facility. This will provide yet another opportunity to expand our economic development impact and hundreds of short-term construction jobs and many more long-term jobs. I met with local developer Leo Schofer, who is moving forward with his plans to construct a 4-story, 111-room hotel adjacent to the NARTP, with multiple restaurants, 24,000 square feet of convention center, and 2 additional hotels in later phases. That wouldn't be happening without the area aviation park. So it's happening all. And in all due respect to Atlantic City, this county is not Atlantic City centric. Center of this county is Hamilton, Egg Harbor Township, Galloway, and that's where a concentration will be. Atlantic City, we have no say over. State of New Jersey has complete and total control over the city itself. And obviously, if they don't meet their obligations to us with the $14 million they owe us, oh well, it's another story I'm going to right now. We're working with partners and establishing relationships across the state and the nation. The hard work is paying off. Last July, we welcomed Beta Technologies to Atlantic City International Airport for a demonstration of all-electric aircraft and zero emissions capabilities. The company could have gone anywhere, but they decided to but chose to come here to share its potential to revolutionize sustainable aviation. They came here. They could have gone anywhere. And if you think it's easy getting corporations to come to New Jersey with the taxes that we have, when they can go to North Carolina, pay basically nothing. Florida, they came here. That means something. And there's nothing that the commissioners and I are prouder of than this aviation park. And we did it alone. We are building a new industry, creating new jobs, attracting new businesses, and diversifying our economy. It was just 9 years ago that we introduced our economic development plan. We have made great strides and enjoyed extraordinary success despite the skeptics and the naysayers. We have established a foundation on which to build a better Atlantic County. Our foundation remains financially secure, as confirmed by Standard & Poor's and Moody's investors. Don't ever take the word of a politician. You have to have proof. With our consistent top-tier credit ratings and 25th consecutive perfect audit, we are possibly the only ones in the country that can say this. Your town or wherever may have the same auditors year after year after year. When I became county executive, we switched them every 3 years. So they'll check the other guy's work. You all know how much better we did in school when we checked our own papers. So that is something that we do hang our hat on and are extremely proud. My staff keeps telling me, we not stop saying it. They're eventually going to find an error in the audit. Well, they haven't yet, so I'm going to still say it. Our conservative fiscal policies have served us well, but we are continually challenged by rising costs and increasing demands for services. One example is the cost of participation in the state health benefits program. You think we're getting hosed with the pilot? Listen to this one. In 2023, local governments were hit with an unexpected and unprecedented 24% increase in premium costs. Now, all of our employees pay in. Of course, we make up the balance. A family of 4 costs the county taxpayers close to $40,000 along with their salaries. That's impressive. Why so many people ask me, Dan, just give me a job. All I need is benefits for my family. That's what they want. They care. Well, the state doesn't. They hit us for 24% of county employees and municipal employees. Yet the state succumbed to the unions up in Trenton and only increased theirs by 3%. Again, they increased ours by 24%, but theirs by 3%. You see any fairness there? So in 2024, we were dealt an additional 7%. These increases not only impact our employees, who must make up larger cost share contributions, but also our taxpayers. For 2 solid years, we've worked on this project. We've been working tirelessly to find a better option. The plan we developed in 2023, based on a model previously accepted by the state, was then rejected in the 11th hour after months of discussion. Want to talk about herding cats? We have 23 bargaining units in this county. All 23 had to agree. And we promised them that this was a good plan and we could get it through. And they agreed. In the 11th hour, the state of New Jersey told us, you can't do it. Ask me why. Don't bother asking me why. We don't know. They could have told us in the beginning. We could have saved a lot of aggravation. We're exploring several other options. We have presented a plan that is currently being vetted by union management. If all unions find it acceptable, we will proceed. Otherwise, we will continue to look for alternatives. Remember, the plan has to be as good or better. Another impact in our budget is the end of the American Rescue Plan as of December 31st. As you will recall, the federal government developed a plan in response to COVID pandemic. Funding was made available for a broad spectrum of services. You really had your choice. Some places put their money into more purses for horse racing. Others bought a ski resort. Another put $10 million into diversity education. Well, good politics. We here in Atlantic County did the right thing. Collaborating with the commissioners, we said, what needs to be done? Well, very unglamorous. Atlantic County was able to fund several projects, including HVAC replacements in the county office building, civil courthouse, and the county jail, and completion of the HVAC projects at Meadowview and the historic criminal courthouse. We were also able to provide matching funds for the State Library Construction Board to replace their HVAC systems in several county libraries. Additionally, the funding helped us accomplish a number of drainage projects and fund a $7 million cap on the ACUA landfill to help mitigate odors. Anybody that tells you we're not doing our part, that's what we put our money into. Nothing political there, but it was the right thing to do. And not one single commissioner brought up a pet project that they wanted. They all agreed. Clean air, and we might as well do it. We have to do it anywhere. HVAC. That's what we do with our money. We didn't increase the purses on horse racing. Some of the existing construction projects will make use of ARP funding through December 31st of 26. However, no ARP funds can be budgeted in 2025 or beyond. As a result, there will be a loss of $3.8 million. Now, in ARP funds, we have to replace that lost revenue. With a high degree of inflation and limited economic growth, replacement revenues in 2025 is difficult to generate. The general revenues start at $54,600,000. Salary and wages are up 3%. To help contain costs, we have decided to freeze all vacancies for at least a half a year. The hiring process continues to be a challenge, particularly in the healthcare field. As a direct consequence of the COVID pandemic, we're recommending the use of $800,000 from salary and wage for hiring of contract nurses at Meadowview. Got to get done, everybody. They're doing things for our loved ones that we don't do for them. They're angels of mercy. They truly are. And the way we are right now, bleeding money, we have 180 beds. We only have 80 of them filled. And of course, that means our revenue is less. Other expenses have generated a 6.6 increase. The county jail, for example, has proposed increases of $1.6 million in social and medical services, inmate supplies, food, and more. The cost of extraditions has increased, get this, by $96,000. Before COVID, transports occurred by car, with some prisoners being housed overnight in the local jails. No longer can do that. Since COVID, many transports now occur by airplane. By the way, just like anybody else, we have to buy the tickets at the right time, although we don't know when, and we're getting hosed over there also. We have to pay for airline tickets. Additional expenses include the Department of Planning's update of the solid waste plan at a cost of $100,000. The Superintendent of Elections has requested an increase of $300,000 for coding and tabulations of election results. A new security contract for public safety will increase by $182,000. Despite these increases and the loss of the funding, we believe we can still find a few more cuts that should help us reduce the county general purpose tax yet again this year. We expect to introduce our 2025 county budget on March 4th, with the library and public health taxes remaining level and a decrease of the general purpose tax. We plan to use over $19 million of surplus this year, or approximately 50%. Now, somebody may say, well, now, why are you holding this surplus? Why don't you use it and lower our taxes? Well, there was a city here in our county that would lower it every time the Big Mahoffs would run. It would go down 8 cents. Following year, it went up 21 cents. We're keeping it pretty steady. With the information available at the time, the county tax levy would be $188,600,000, and the general purpose tax would be reduced by 1 to almost 2 cents. That, of course, if you're around 100% assessment, as I said earlier. Final numbers will be determined after all municipal values are submitted to the Atlantic County Board of Taxation. The preparation of our annual budget is an extraordinary team effort that requires extensive time and attention by our fiscal staff throughout county government, and in cooperation with the Commissioner of Budget Task Force. The direction of those efforts start at the top with County Administrator Jerry Del Rosso, County Treasurer Bonnie Lindau, Administrative Services Department Head Tammy Robbins, and Budget Manager Julie Sharkey. We are fortunate to have services of these knowledgeable and dedicated individuals. And something I do want to point out, when I write the budget message, I give it to Linda to type up. Continually leaves her name out. She's as valuable an employee to this county as anyone. We have much to look forward to in the coming year, as long as we remember who we serve and continue to do what is best for our residents. I'm confident that we can meet any challenge and continue to be recognized as the best run county in the state of New Jersey. That's both sides of the aisle believe that and have said it out loud, including the independents. Why are we successful in elections? Because we do the job. Thank you, and may God bless you all. Field any questions if you'd like. That's good. Can I still make the early bird, Patsy? Well, thank you very much. And commissioners, as always, thank you so very much for your continuous cooperation.
Yeah.
It's deeply appreciated.
Thank you. Well, I think at this time, since I do see some ACWay employees in the back, and I know the employees have been mentioned, the landfill's been mentioned, I'll entertain a motion to move Resolution 51 to the top of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Bertino,
Yes.
Birds. Yes. Corsi,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Grizzly,
Yes.
Ralphio,
Yes.
Stace.
Yes. Resolution 51.
Resolution supporting the Atlantic County Utility Authority, sponsor Ernest D. Corsi.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah. Any commissioner comments, Mr. Corsi?
Mr. Chairman, if for the record, can the clerk read the resolution into the records, please?
I need a move in
No,
a
you
second.
need a motion to, on a second. Did you make a motion second?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Motion second.
Haven't heard a motion in a second. Clerk?
Whereas environmental sustainability and resource conservation are critical to the health and prosperity of our community, and whereas recycling reduces waste, conserves natural resources, minimizes pollution, and extends the life of the landfills, and whereas the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners recognizes the need for a coordinated, efficient, and effective approach to managing recyclable materials, and whereas the Atlantic County Utilities Authority provides centralized leadership, resources, and programs to advance recycling efforts and ensure compliance with state and federal regulations. And whereas ACUA's proactive approach to waste disposal has helped streamline waste management processes, reduce environmental impact, and ensure that waste is disposed of responsibly and efficiently. And whereas the ACUA facilitates partnerships, promotes public awareness, and supports innovative recycling technologies and strategies. And whereas the Board of Commissioners appreciates and has deep respect of all ACUA employees, including the members of Local 68. And whereas, as specifically stated in public session on December 17th, 2024, the Board of Commissioners has not discussed nor supported the privatization and dissolution of the ACUA in its exploration to resolve odor complaints recently raised by constituents. And whereas the Board of Commissioners takes serious any complaints that are received regarding issues that affect the safety, health, and/or welfare of the public. And whereas the Board of Commissioners has a responsibility to the residents of Atlantic County to investigate and explore any and all options to resolve and/or mitigate said issues. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of Atlantic County that the board does hereby support the Atlantic County Utilities Authority and promotes recycling initiatives.
All right, Tara, thank you. Are there any commissioner comments?
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Sure.
First of all, let me just thank my colleagues certainly for seconding and bringing it to the top of the agenda. Let me be very clear. As most of us know, this has been an issue that's been going on for a few weeks, whether it's in the newspaper, whether it's on the radio, whether it's employees, et cetera. And so on the 17th of last month, I was not here. I was in the beginning of the meeting, and I know that there was a request by the county executive to pass a resolution, which did not happen. But I understand most of my colleagues or some of my colleagues had indicated they didn't have a problem supporting the employees of the ACUA. However, as it continued on the radio, crazy as I am, I mean, I'm a little crazy every now and then. I thought it was probably the best thing, just put up a resolution showing that the employees of the ACUA and the unions of 68, that we collectively as a body, perhaps, support them and their families. And the reason I wanted to bring this resolution up is because the back and forth, the he said, the she said, the this said, it doesn't do any good for the employees at ACUA, right? They want to feel just as comfortable as all of us, whether we're elected officials, appointed officials, or want to be an official. At the end of the day, they want to know when their next paycheck is coming from. Are they going to pay their bills? Are they going to be able to put their kids through college and buy a car and pay their insurance, et cetera? And so they want some insurance just like we have. And so what happens is when politics get in the way of common sense, it's unfortunate we can't govern. The interesting part about it is that we can agree to disagree. But at the end of the day, Don Q, the public don't give a rat's tail if you're a Republican, a Democrat, or independent. They want to know, do you support their positions in terms of where they work? Now, we can argue the case that if it was privatized, maybe the other company would keep them. We don't know that. I will venture to say to our senator and to our county executive and to my members on this board, ACUA is an entity of Atlantic County government, not the federal, not the state, nobody else. And so we must hold them, when I say them, I'm talking about ACUA and its board and its executive accountable, just like people hold us accountable. And so at the end of the day, folks want to be able to go home and lay their head down, not worrying where their next paycheck's coming. Not too long ago, most of us, if not all of us, and I can point out a couple folks in this room that doesn't have that problem, probably was living paycheck to paycheck, one step away from the rescue mission. And so none of us are better than any of us, right? And so what happens is at the end of the day, folks want some kind of security. And so while we may not agree on the way or the method that have taken to get to where we are today, there's still families out there that want to know where they stand. And as elected officials, we have a responsibility and an obligation to make sure that our residents and our taxpayers feel comfortable and safe. It's one thing to run for office and ask for my vote. But when the rubber meets the road, where the hell are you? You go riding, go hiding. It depends on what side of the aisle you get the pressure from if you're going to make a decision. And so I thought it not robbery. And again, I say to my colleague, it's not about pointing the finger. Let's just do the right thing. The right thing is just pass the resolution. Give them some comfort level. But yeah, we hear them. We have their backs. They have a job. And I couldn't agree with the county executive more wholeheartedly. When you look at whether it's a gold medal, whether it's ACUA hanging off the back of the trash truck, picking up our trash in the cold, the snow, the sleet, the hail, the rain, etc. We home looking at our windows, probably waving our hands or going to work somewhere, but we're not on the back of the truck. I can speak from experience. I come from a family of 12. My dad had a trash business. I rode on the back of a trash truck. I came off the back of a trash truck, got involved in politics. And so it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And at the end of the day, we need to put this whole situation to rest. All right. And when I say put it to rest, with those folks at the ACUA will feel some comfort of knowing that the elected officials hear them. I wasn't invited to the press conference on the lawn at ACUA, and I probably know why.
I missed you.
You missed it. I wasn't
I
invited.
missed you.
You missed me?
Yes,
I'm
did.
glad somebody missed me.
I know.
But the funny part about it is that
Should have been.
listen, we're not gonna. I got the mic, bro. Got the mic. And so what happens is that I'm tired of seeing it in the paper, tired of hearing it on the radio. Again, the senator, the county executive, and anybody else, sit down in the room and have a conversation, call each other a bunch of names if you want to. But at the end of the day, we still have a responsibility to our residents of Atlantic County. And therefore, I'm asking my colleagues for unanimously vote on Resolution 51. Mr. Chairman, I reserve the balance of my time in the event that I have.
We do.
Is there time left? Are there any other commissioner comments? Commissioner Bertino?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, thank you. With respect to this issue, I think I was very clear last time we had discussion. Many of the issues that are in here are what we already discussed. Commissioners, there's never been a discussion at the commissioner level. As you guys are aware, we operate under a solid waste management plan, which we approved as commissioners, and we have to meet the requirements of it. So if it satisfies some people to codify this thing, I have no problem doing that as well, because it's simply what we've all stated in the past. It's how we operate. It's not that big a deal. But if it satisfies some people, the only thing I would suggest and say is I've discussed with Matt once again on Saturday when you called. If there's a concern from our constituents on whatever the issue is, we're coming to you guys. And I'm not looking to see if it's okay with somebody. We're coming to tell you what we hear from our constituents, because that's our job. And I know you know that, and I appreciate what you guys always do. But I want it on the record, as we've discussed. I'm not apologizing for coming out there. I'm not apologizing for calling the meeting. I called the meeting because I felt it was that important. And that's what I'll do again if I think it's necessary. But I do appreciate the ACUA. I appreciate the commissioners that serve on the board. We all know in public service, you're not going to have everybody tell you you're doing a great job or they even recognize what you're doing. I appreciate what you guys do. I'm in the industry. I've been on the trash trucks, so I know what you're talking about, Commissioner. And that's that. Hopefully this will get put to bed. It's not this big a deal as it is. We're doing our jobs, both of us. As long as we both do that, we should all be fine.
Thank you. Any additional comments? Are there any comments from the public?
I don't have anything prepared. Matt Donoff, ACUA. I just want to thank Commissioner Corsi for putting this to vote, and also for your comments, Commissioner Bertino, as well. So the staff behind me represent, not just the guys in the back of the trucks, but the guys that are going in tonight at 7 o'clock, make sure the trash gets up to the landfill. It's gonna be cold tonight. So this resolution, I don't see a downside. I know there's been controversy, but I don't see a downside in this. And it's not for me. It's for the people behind me and the people that they represent, that are doing that work every single day. So again, I see no downside to this, and I just appreciate everybody's support, the public comments, and then certainly that this resolution is on the agenda today. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yep. Yes, sir.
on that point, there was the downside that it was based in nothing that was true. So we gotta put that out there for the public. As you heard all of the commissioners say, we've continued to say, you even heard our executive now say he spoke to each of us individually. There wasn't a single commissioner that made that statement. It was never based in fact. So you were asking us to pass a resolution based on nothing. So we're going to talk about downside. That's one. That's one. Now, everything that Commissioner Corsi said, everything that Commissioner Bertino said, everything that we have all said in the past still stands true. We have always supported the ACUA. You know this. I've been at your meetings. I've been out there. I've taken every tour I could possibly take of your facilities. Never said a negative thing about the ACUA. I've never come down on ACUA. It was always a yes anytime you asked for anything. We have never come against you guys. Never. So where the whole privatization came from, listen, it didn't come from us. So for us to pass a resolution based on something we never said seems a little, I don't know. What's the word you want to use? Weird. Strange at best. Yes, it's absolutely. So that's the reason that it didn't pass the first time. It wasn't that we were against the ACUA. It was based on nothing true. Okay. So let's put that out there. I think the record needs to reflect that. We didn't have any problem passing a resolution to support. We had no problem supporting the ACUA and the employees. We had a problem passing a resolution based on something that wasn't true. And then to go out on the radio and to have this discussion instead of coming to us. You have my number. I never got a phone call. I was the liaison to the ACUA. I never got a phone call. I got phone calls for everything else. I never got a phone call about this. I'm hearing about it on the radio like everybody else. And then I'm getting calls, I'm having phone calls where people like the executive said, where, there's 4-letter words being thrown all over because everybody's upset because it wasn't ever true. So I take offense to being accused of something that I didn't do. All right. I take serious offense to that. And I want to apologize on the record. There was some definite language that was used in the conversation between the two of us. And that was because of the passion that I have in this situation. It was not true. I'm not gonna confess to something that's not true. You're never gonna get me to do that. It's not gonna happen. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's never gonna happen. And that's what was being asked of this commissioners board to resolve something that never existed. But if this gives the people hope, if this gives our employees hope, or some sort of peace to know that we're not going to dissolve or privatize the ACUA, we never were. It was never a conversation. So, but if this helps, I'm glad to have done it. Just like I was glad to have, and I'll stop it here. I was glad to have when Commissioner Corsi put the resolution up, I put in some of the whereases into here, which everybody seems to be okay with. All right. And I'm the one who put up the second, as you all heard, let the record reflect. I don't have a problem giving peace to the ACUA, but it never was true. So let the record reflect that.
All right, thank you. And I did open it up to the public. Is there any other public comment at this time?
First of all, it may not be true. We all watch TV. You see the president, the governor, whoever it may be, at a microphone. We assume that everybody standing behind them agrees. Nobody ever accused. In fact, I apologize for you accusing until you all called and said a mea culpa. I didn't know about it. We thought we were going there to support Maureen. We didn't know. So it was said. It was said to dissolve and to privatize. I read you right from there. It's not like this came out of the air. Y'all were standing there. Hey, Mr. Senator, we're not here for that reason. We're here to support our colleague, Maureen Kern. So let's be clear on this. One can assume, and I guess you shouldn't assume. You were all standing there listening to privatization, dissolution. You formed it, you can dissolve it, which, by the way, you can't dissolve it. So he's wrong on that one. The bottom line here is, one would assume if you're there, you're in agreement. And the accusation that y'all were in support, I agree now after you spoke to me. You're not in support of it. Fine. But unless the people You read the paper, that's what you see there. They didn't hear somebody say, gee, we support it, you gotta be at a freeholder meeting. Which, by the way, is not a night out. This is not something people want to be, gee, I gotta go over to commission meeting. So,
They should, but they don't.
that's what it comes down to. It comes down to the fact that you're all standing, 5 commissioners, which is a quorum, standing behind the senator, saying we're gonna privatize this, we're gonna dissolve it, and the headline is GOP, want to dissolve the ACUA. Not making this up. You guys were jackpotted. You didn't know. And I agree with you. You didn't know. Next time, are you sure we're just going there to support Maureen? Because I would have been there to support Maureen had I known about it. It don't get any better than Maureen. But that didn't seem to be what the conversation was. The conversation was we're going to privatize and dissolve it. So let's be straight here. And you know what? You commissioners didn't have to call me. But you knew we got jackpotted. And as I said, June Burns was standing there, and she felt the right thing to do was to call Matt. I'm not calling Denny. Matt's the president of that. I want him to know from me. I didn't know that. I was there to support June, support Maureen, period. So that's why we are where we are. These individuals have worth. And to even assume that we're not going to part, it doesn't matter to the resolution. It may not matter to you all. It matters to them. And that's what it comes down to. May not have mattered to, you know, when I did the thing with Meadowview. They could have read it in the paper. They didn't. Every single employee was told face to face. And it will not be sold unless you are protected for 2 years. Now, that's how it should be done. I didn't call you all for a press conference. By the way, we're here to support the flag of the United States. Well, everybody would come for that one, for sure. And you all came for Maureen, and you should have. Because she was accused of something she was not responsible for. And that should have been exactly what it was. And I blame nobody except the person that brought you there under false pretenses. Let's call a spade right now and understand. That's what occurred. There is no two ways about it. And I appreciate your time, your concern, and for sure, your support through the years. And most certainly you'll have mine.
All right, thank you. Is there any other public comment? I do want to remind the public that we do have a long agenda, so if you can keep your comments to 3 minutes moving forward. Any other public comment on this resolution? Anybody online? Listen, I do want to just state again, no member, to my knowledge, of this board has said any derogatory comment toward any ACOA employee or any county employee for that matter. You know, that keeps being thrown out there, and that's never been mentioned, not even by anybody at that press conference, talked about any employee of the ACUA. We appreciate what you do. It clearly states that in this resolution. It also clearly states that we will continue to investigate any concerns that constituents bring to us. You know, when I'm out in Galloway and unsolicited, somebody asks me, hey, what's going on over there? I haven't smelled it recently, but I never did before. I'm going to follow up on that concern, and that's not going to stop. So hopefully some of the back and forth, you know, dragging other people, commissioners into this will stop, I hope, after this. And I hope that the employees know that they have the support once and for all, even though you never did not have our support, but that you have our support moving forward. Any other comments? No?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Yeah, very well said. Just want to also say we did the executive mentioned the 7 million that we also spent. I think that says we support the ACUA as well. I just want to ask, you know, these members are not our employees. Matt, they're yours. So as we pass a resolution at your request to offer them peace of mind, I'm hoping that the officers and the board of the ACUA will send a letter to the employees giving them peace of mind, because you're the ones who pay the bill. You're the one who negotiate their contracts, not us. So as much as you want peace of mind from us, we'll give it. you're the ones who ultimately have to give it. So that's my request back. Thanks.
Are there any additional comments? All right.
Mr. Chairman, for the record, if you wait another 2 seconds, I'm gonna go on for another 40.
Sarah, please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Coursey,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffield,
Yes.
Stace.
Yes. We'll bring us back to ordinance 1. I guess we'll take anybody would like to leave at this time? I guess we'll take a
2 seconds.
30-second, 2-second pause.
Second pause, first break.
Ordinance number 7 adopted on April 21st, 1998, which added permitted purposes for which monies in the Atlantic County Open Space, Recreation, and Farmland and Historic Preservation Trust Fund can be utilized. First reading.
Sorry.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? As this is the first reading, do we know public comment at this time? Tara, please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Coursey,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffield,
Yes.
Stace.
Yes. Resolution 13.
Grant application and acceptance from the United States Department of Justice through the State of New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety for the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Grant, amount not to exceed $105,858.
Moved. Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Roll call.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Coursey,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffield,
Yes.
Stace.
Yes. Resolution 14.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs through the Local Efficiency Achievement Program Implementation Grant for the Web Hosting and Design Services for various municipalities and the Atlantic County Improvement Authority, amount not to exceed $73,891.
Moved. Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Roll call.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Coursey,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffield,
Yes.
Stace.
Yes. Resolution 15.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Human Services, Division of Aging Services for the fiscal year 2025 Older Americans Act Area Plan Contract Grant, amount not to exceed $1,992,982.
Moved. Second.
Any commissioner comments? From the public? Call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Coursey.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
Ruffield.
Yes.
Stace.
Yes. Resolution 16.
Grant application and acceptance from the State of New Jersey Department of Transportation for the Transportation Accessibility and Mobility Program for the creation of the Atlantic County Community Express Shuttle Service, amount not to exceed $400,000.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Roll call.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Coursey. Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
Ruffield.
Yes.
Stace.
Resolution 17.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the fiscal year 25 Local Bridge Fund Program for up to 5 bridge projects, amount not to exceed $2,192,837.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Roll call.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Coursey.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
Ruffield.
Yes.
Stace.
Yes. Resolution 18.
Grant application and acceptance from the Federal Highway Administration for funding through the Bridge Investment Program grant for the Jobs Point Bridge Replacement Project, funded amount $784,000, county cash match $196,000.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Coursey.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
Ralphio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 19.
Amending Resolution Number 438, adopted on August 20th, 2024, a professional services agreement with various vendors to provide temporary nursing staffing for Meadowview Nursing and Rehabilitation Center and Public Health, net increase $500,000.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Coursey.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
Ralphio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 20.
Professional services agreement with various vendors to provide temporary nursing staffing for Meadowview Nursing and Rehabilitation Center and Atlantic County Public Health, amount not to exceed $2,200,000.
Moved.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Coursey.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
Ralphio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 21.
Professional services agreement authorizing the county law department to establish a pool of various law firms for the provision of legal services, amount not to exceed $600,000.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Please call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Coursey.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
Ralphio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 22.
Competitive contract with Partners Pharmacy for the provision of pharmaceutical services to Meadowview Nursing and Rehabilitation Center, amount not to exceed $370,314.28.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? All right, call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Coursey.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
Ralphio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 23.
Competitive contract subgrant agreements with various providers for Older Americans Act Area Plan Services fiscal year 2025 at 50% funding, amount not to exceed $272,950.
Moved.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Coursey.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
Ralphio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 24.
Competitive contract subgrant agreements with various providers for Older Americans Act Area Plan Services fiscal year 2025 at 100% funding, amount not to exceed $390,000.
Hey, oops, sorry. Keep jumping ahead. Any comments? Comments from the public? Call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Coursey. Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
Ralphio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 25.
Bid contract with JDJ Pets Incorporated doing business as Pets Plus to furnish and deliver animal food for the Atlantic County Animal Shelter, amount not to exceed $103,357.
Moved.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Coursey. Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
Ralphio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 26.
Bid contract with Kelly Winthrop Limited Liability Company for deer carcass removal and disposal, amount not to exceed $50,400.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Just want to add that these deer carcasses can be reported online as well. I've done it a couple of times, actually, and you see the confirmation. Always on social media, people talk about putting balloons on the deer, the flags, and but it's easily done. If a phone call or you just submit a form online and they'll be right there. So, any comments from the public? I'll call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Coursey.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
Ralphio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 27.
Bid contract with J. Fletcher Creamer and Son Incorporated for on-call maintenance for beam guide rail and attenuator repairs, amount not to exceed $790,779.36.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Please call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Coursey.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
Ralphio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 28.
Bid contract with Elder Pest Control for the Integrated Pest Management Program, amount not to exceed $108,480.
Moved.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Please
Yes.
call. Nope, okay.
How you doing? Kevin Pemberton. I'm from Atlantic County, from Mays Landing. Just had a curious question about how you guys make the bids for these, how the bids are accepted for this contract. I'm currently with the current company, Tri-County Pest Control. I see Elder put in a bid. I was wondering, is any consideration for the established relationship with the pest control company and the employees of Atlantic County, not just the main person in control, but control of all the buildings and how we deal with them and the relationship with them. I was wondering if there's any consideration for that when these bids are put in, or is it just upon price?
Sure. Jared, do you have any other details for that?
Price. Palmer is on, she could explain, but normally it's the price. It's the lowest responsible bidder.
Right.
And that happens, what happens to that company happens all the time.
But it doesn't happen every year.
But she's on, just so you know, I mean, she'll explain to you how many years she's allowed.
Okay.
She may be allowed 2 years, so if you have the first year, you may have an off. It's Ms. Conover is our county purchasing agent. Are you there?
I am, Jerry. The bid is based on a 2-year bid, and it is the lowest responsible bidder. Tri-County was one of the vendors that bid, but they were not the lowest price. Elder Pest Control bid at $108,000, and Tri-County did $139,000. So it's basically a low bid scenario, and we make sure that all documentation obviously is correct. So it isn't a 1-year bid; it is a 2-year bid that we do. So every 2 years we'll put this out, and we do have options in there.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much for the explanation. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else, public comment?
Good luck to you.
All right, Tara, please call the roll.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ruffio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes, resolution 29.
Bid contract with Action Uniforms to furnish and deliver uniforms for the Sheriff's Office, amount not to exceed $19,500.
Second.
Commissioner comments? Anyone from the public? Call the roll.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ruffio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes, resolution 30.
Bid contract with U.S. Corrections Limited Liability Company for prisoner transport services, amount not to exceed $150,000.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Call the roll.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ruffio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes, resolution 31.
Bid contract with Arawak Paving Company Incorporated for the resurfacing of California Avenue, County Route 663, amount not to exceed $993,900.
Move.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Call the roll.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ruffio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes, resolution 32.
Bid contract with Arawak Paving Company Incorporated for the resurfacing of Ohio Avenue, County Route 630, amount not to exceed $657,000.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Call the roll.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ruffio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes, resolution 33.
Lease agreement with Halawasa Incorporated for the use of facilities to conduct the 48-hour intoxicated driver resource center programs, amount not to exceed $32,250.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? All right, call the roll, please.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ruffio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes, resolution 34.
Amending Resolution Number 468, adopted on September 3rd, 2024, a lease agreement with B&B Parking doing business as Park Place Parking to increase the number of leased parking spaces at 126 North Pennsylvania Avenue in Atlantic City. Net increase $262,800.
Move. Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Call the roll.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Corsi? Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ruffio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes, resolution 35.
Renewal intergovernmental sub-grant agreements with the Atlantic County Office on Aging with funding through the Older Americans Act for fiscal year 2024, amount not to exceed $1,363,211.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? All Call the roll.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ruffio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 36.
Renewal intergovernmental subgrant agreements with the Atlantic County Area Agency on Aging with the Atlantic County Division of Intergenerational Services with funding through the Older Americans Act fiscal year 2024, amount not to exceed $1,462,395.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? All right, call the roll.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Corsi? Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ruffio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 37.
Amending Resolution Numbers 703 and 704 adopted on December 19, 2023, to amend and increase the subgrant agreements for Americans Act Area Plan Services fiscal year 2024 net increase $96,576.
A second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Call the roll.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Corsi? Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ruffio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 38.
Renewal shared services agreement with the Atlantic County Special Services School District and Atlantic County Vocational School District to provide Class 3 special law enforcement officers to serve as armed security officers, revenue generating.
Move.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Call the roll.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ruffio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 39.
Business Associate Agreement between the New Jersey Department of Human Services, Division of Aging Services, and the Atlantic County Area Agency on Aging, Office on Aging, to be included with the 2025 area plan.
Move.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Anyone from the public? All right, call the roll.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ruffio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 40.
Resolution to comply with the New Jersey Department of Human Services requirement for a standardized board resolution to be filed with the 2025 area plan by the Atlantic County Area Agency on Aging, Office on Aging.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? All right, call the roll.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ruffio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 41.
Alternate method contract with Point Click Care Technologies Incorporated to provide proprietary billing and electronic medical record software for Meadowview Nursing and Rehabilitation Center, amount not to exceed $78,857.45.
Move.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? All right, call the roll.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ruffio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 42.
Alternate method contract with Capital Health to provide medical services rendered to the inmate population at the Atlantic County Justice Facility, amount not to exceed $49,000.
Move.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Anyone from the public? All right, call the roll.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ruffio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 43.
Alternate method contract with Atlantic Care to provide for the provision of psychiatry services to youth at Harborfield Juvenile Detention Center, amount not to exceed $15,000.
Move.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Anyone from the public? I call the roll.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ruffio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes. I'll entertain a motion to combine and adopt resolutions 44 through 50.
So moved.
Appointments.
So move.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes, sir.
Not the excuse that we have another.
Do you have a note or?
Another day.
Ernie, thank you.
You got a- You got a,
Thank
you got a hot date?
I think,
Let the record reflect.
so we've received copies of written communication petitions. Are there any commissioner comments?
Chairman. Thank you. Just one, the Ag Development Committee did have its reorganization last week. Board is set to do business on the agricultural side. There are some challenges that we're going to continue to be facing with water permitting and some of those issues as well. I'll keep the board informed. I also want to thank the board, Commissioners Board, for their support in the past for personnel. We had some retirements there. I know we just lost Rick Van Cranken. Rick is going to be a huge loss to us. Anybody in the agriculture that's worked with agriculture in the last 20 plus years. He's been an invaluable resource. I kind of tried talking him out of it many times. I couldn't get him to go for it, but we're going to miss him and going to be looking for some support from Rutgers and stuff along the lines of trying to replace people. And this board's always showed its commitment to agriculture, where if there were shortfalls, we have to make it up. You guys have been very supportive for it as we go forward through the budget process, but thank you.
Thank you. Any other commissioner comments? Any reports of special committees of the board?
Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner Risley.
just very briefly on the budget. We had a budget meeting recently, and our administration's working on the budget very diligently. We're not where we need to be as of yet. We're not within cap yet, but we're getting closer. One thing we want to avoid as a county is invading the cap bank. So we're still working to trim the numbers down further. And administration has been great with all the information forthcoming. Any question we ask, of course, is answered, and it's diligently moving along. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairman,
Yes.
I had my first meeting with the Veterans Advisory Council. They welcomed me at their dinner meeting. I get dinner on this one.
How did I miss that committee? Usually I got to buy dinner.
Again, I let them know I'm not a veteran, but my father is, and my mother and father are at that veteran cemetery. And I'm proud of the fact that I have a great relationship with our legislative team. So I can relay anything that's going on in the state level to our committee. So thank you for your support.
It's great to hear. Thank you. Any other comments? Any unfinished business? Any new business? Hang on, public comment, Senator? I need to say this legal statement, I guess, whatever, just the CYA. Anyone attending in person that would like to speak now at public comment, please come to the podium, speak into the microphone, state your name and the town you reside. If you're attending virtually and would like to make a public comment, please raise your hand. I will call upon your name and a request to unmute will be sent. Please state your name and the town you reside. You'll be provided up to 3 minutes to speak. Senator?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize. I had to run to another meeting, so I didn't get to hear the whole conversation, but
Sorry, I
it
didn't know.
sounded to me like there was some revisionist history that was talked about this evening. I just want to be clear about what occurred with the press conference in Atlantic County Utilities Authority. You guys that were there know Maureen Kern was unfairly attacked for an issue that is the ACUA's issue, is an odor issue that has impacted residents in the city of Absecon, Township of Galloway, City of Pleasantville, and other communities in this region. Commissioner Bertino, if I'm incorrect, tell me, but I'm told that you told the ACUA that they needed to step up, acknowledge the problem, deal with the problem, and make sure everybody knew that it was not Commissioner Kern's issue.
Yeah, I spoke up if I can.
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
like it, but yeah, I did reach out to Matt and stuff. We had a discussion on some of the public's perspective that they believe commissioners handle the day-to-day operations, or that as chair of the committee, Commissioner Kern at the time had some kind of oversight or could make adjustments there. And I asked them to reach out to see what he could do as far as notifying the public, which he continually has done on his own, but I wasn't satisfied with the answer. So I chose an alternate course. As I said earlier, I'll do it again if I think it's necessary.
Okay. And that is my point, because that's what I was told, is that Maureen was being unfairly attacked. It was an ACUA problem. It was not a Maureen problem. We did the press conference to say, ACUA, this is your problem. These horrendous odors in City of Absecon need to be dealt with. And guess what? We are the elected officials. And if necessary, if you're not going to do the job we entrusted you to do, we're going to find another way to do it. And I went through all kinds of alternatives to deal with that. And those of you who were there heard that. It was if the ACUA did not do the job. And by the way, as all of you know, we're elected by the people, we're responsive to the people. If there is a county entity or a county authority that is not doing the job that they are entrusted and told to do, then we have to look at every alternative. That's what the purpose of the press conference was. This whole thing about anything else is totally manufactured. This was about making sure entities that should have been doing the job are held accountable. That's it. So hopefully we're done on this topic. I just wanted to make sure everybody understands the purpose of why that press conference was held and why we were talking about it and why it is so important to make sure that all these entities do their job. So thank you very much. I hope we're on to the next topic because we have much, much more important things to do.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Senator.
Senator. And it's good to hear you say that. It wasn't my intention to move it up, and I apologize. I didn't know you had to leave, but because it was mentioned during the budget address and there were so many employees sitting in the back, we decided to move it up. So I'm glad you were able to make it back. And I think Commissioner Parker was pretty clear, and Commissioner Bertino and others who spoke that a lot of the information that was being put out there was not accurate.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm repeating myself, but no one, including yourself, had ever disparaged any ACOA or county employee. So I made that clear as well.
That is correct, Chairman. And just to be clear, this was never about any rank and file employee at the ACOA, not from any commissioner, not from the legislative delegation, not from anybody. We understand the important job that they do, and we would never disparage any county employees. This was about just making sure they are held accountable to do the job that the ACOA must do. So look forward to them dealing with the situation. Absecon obviously still needs to be dealt with, but again, thank you. And we'll can stay on it and continue to get the work done.
Thanks.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Senator. Are there any other public comments? Motion to close public comment?
Move.
Move to close. Second.
Any comments for the good of the order?
Go Birds.
Stay go birds.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. We're good. Thank you.